Hello, and welcome to our how-to webinar about how to create custom donation forms on Canada Helps. My name's Eric, and I'm on the Charity Success team. And a little bit about myself before we get going. I've worked in the nonprofit sector in varying capacities since 2010. I'm passionate about the online side of fundraising, and I love leveraging technology to benefit charities such as yourselves and your important missions. I also have a cat and a dog who may make cameo appearances throughout the session. In today's webinar, we are going to cover how to create a custom donation form. But first, I want to talk about what a custom donation form is. These are tools that allow donors to make a donation to your charity directly on your website without being directed anywhere else. With these tools, you're able to customize them and maintain your branding while providing a secure way for donors to give and pay our lowest fees of 3.75% for single donations or monthly donation fees of 3.5% per month. There's 4 different types of fundraising forms or donation forms that you can use, including a full form like we're looking at now. This is a classic look where a donor can complete a donation in as little as 2 clicks. We have a multi-step form for a more modern appearance that maintains the same features as the full form, but takes up less real estate on a web page. To allow donors to make a gift in memory or in honor of someone, we have a tribute first form that allows you to add custom branded e-cards while the donor makes their donation as a dedication. And then for major donations, we have a securities form where Canada Helps acts as a stockbroker. We could trade mutual funds or stocks in your name and save the donor capital gains tax. So let's get started. To show you firsthand how to create these tools from the beginning and edit these things, as you know, I work for Canada Helps, but for today, I will be playing the role of an administrator for a charity called Wellness Avenue. Wellness Avenue, we work to provide overall wellness and benefit small communities as well as individuals. So from the Canada Helps homepage, I'm going to sign into my account. And then I can visit my tab for donation forms, which takes me straight to the area where I can either create a new form from scratch, or I can edit an existing form. To save a little bit of time today, I'm going to edit an existing form and show you what it looks like. So by clicking the View button next to an existing form, it takes you right to what it looks like. And I'm going to show you how to make all of these customizations to make the form look similar to what I have created here. So by clicking Edit next to an existing form, the first step it asks us to do is to name the form. You can name this whatever you want. This is not an externally visible name. And this is just so you can keep track of the donation forms by name, because you can create as many as you'd like with your Canada Helps account. The next option it has is choose your form type. So these are the 4 types of forms we talked about in the opening slides. And we can select from a full form, multi-step, 1 page with the tribute first, so those are the branded e-cards, or to process gifts of securities. To keep it simple today, we're going to maintain the classic full form. And then we're going to go into our general settings to initially set up the form. So under Fund, this is where we can add designations that donors are able to select where they would like their contribution to go. Wellness Avenue, people can make either a gift as a general donation, or if they want to donate towards our wellness program, we also give them the option to do so. I'm also able to drag and drop the order in which these options appear. Next, if I have a specific goal in mind for my form, I am able to add a fundraising thermometer. Here, I want this form to raise an overall total of $10,000. So I've reflected that on the form. And then it lets donors know right at the top when they visit the form, the overall goal as an incentive to potentially get us closer to that overall total. And then if we receive any offline donations, perhaps of cash or checks, we can account for those in the offline donation amount to keep an accurate total towards the overall fundraising goal. Next, we get the option to allow this form to process one-time and monthly donations. As we can see here, one-time or monthly donations, or we can limit users to only one of those options, depending on what we want to do with the form. Maybe you want to keep it only a monthly form if you're using this to process things like membership fees. I'm going to keep it as one-time and monthly though. The next thing I can do is add a redirect URL. This is useful because once a donor has completed their gift, I can add a link here to take the donor back to a web page that I want them to go, maybe my home page, maybe my thank you page I have on my website once people have completed a donation. You can add whatever URL you want in here. Lastly, we can allow for dedication preferences to be added to this form. So with the Tribute First form that we looked at, you can give your dedication options first and foremost, but we can still allow people to make one of those donations in memory or in honor of someone at the bottom of the form here, where they can enter the name of who they would like to give to. And then we can see the option to send them a free e-card here. So the Tribute First form gives these options right at the top of the page. However, we can still give the option to make a donation in memory or in honor of someone. So those are our general settings, the basic configurations we can make to our donation form. Now we're going to look at some of the other customizations that we can add to our form. So on a full form that we're using, we're able to ask custom questions. This is if we want to get extra information about our donors, perhaps ask a yes or no question, but we also get options to type our own question by selecting text, giving them a single selection between different options, maybe a multiple selection or a yes or no question. I've kept it simple for my form, asking my donors if they're happy with their overall wellness, giving them a yes or no question that they can select at the bottom of the form. Once the donations are processed, you're able to look at the details of these donations under your donation reports. We have a dedicated webinar all about our donation reports, and you're able to see the details and the answers to those questions that the donor has provided. We can also give donors the option to send a message to our charity, also available in the donation details. This is just a blank page that users can add whatever message they'd like to send to us, and we can thank them accordingly. You can also give the option to make a donation to Canada Helps on your form. We are a charity ourselves, and we appreciate all the support that we can get. You can also choose to not issue tax receipts through these donation forms. Now, as with all of the Canada Helps tools, a receipt is immediately issued once a donation has been processed. But if for whatever reason you do not issue tax receipts through this form, you're also agreeing to not issue a receipt for this donation through any other means. A mailing list opt-in option gives your donors the ability to sign up for your newsletter if they have one. And if you're a user of our donor management system, this automatically opts them in on their contact profile in the donor management system if you are creating any mailing lists within that platform. And then lastly, and simply, you can collect their phone number too, if that is a detail you care about from your donors. So that's it for other customizations. The next two options that it gives us are one-time donation amounts and monthly donation amounts. Now, these are spaces that you can let your donors know where their money is going to. You can give up to 4 custom amounts. These are suggested donation amounts that you can choose on your own, that you can also add an impact statement, letting your donors know the extent of which their money is going towards. On your form, it's reflected right at the top of the screen. So as soon as they open up the donation form, they can see options for donate now and donate monthly. They can click on any of these preset amounts and it tells them stuff like $20 will provide someone with wellness supplies for a month, and so on. You can do the same with monthly donations. So you can just enter your suggested amount in the left-hand box, and then in the right, you can provide your message. There's two other options here as well. You don't have to have suggested donation amounts and just maintain the blank box here that people can enter whatever they want, and that box never goes away. But then you can also use smart sums, which are algorithmically generated, or not randomly, but algorithmically generated donation amounts that adapt to the seasonality of the year, and bases the amounts it puts on the form with other charities like yours. So smart sums is an adaptive donation amount. These change and you cannot add those impact statements. However, custom amounts give you more flexibility with the impact statement that you have. And again, you get the same options for one time or monthly, and you can even select the toggle here to keep the same amounts as the one time. The next option for creating your donation form are custom email messages. So one of the benefits of using a custom donation form are the automated thank you letters that get sent out as soon as somebody completes a donation. These are issued for either one-time or monthly donations, and you can customize this message, which is sent automatically along with the donor's tax receipt. The donor receives it as soon as their donation is processed, and this is where you can thank people on behalf of whatever cause your form is raising money towards. Now we'll get into some of the creative options. So the brand form dropdown is where we can have some fun and really incorporate our branding onto the donation forms. Whether we're using a multi-step form or a full form, we can add a background image, which is saved regardless of if we add the donation form directly to a web page or use the unique web address of the form and link to the form from a button on our website. This donation form background image is maintained. So if you are adding this to a web page, just keep in mind that this background image will be maintained. You might want to get rid of it if it conflicts with the overall design of your website. It gives some guidelines though for how to best utilize the background images, providing you with the maximum pixel count and file size for these. We also have resources in our knowledge base if you have any other questions regarding the size of the background images. You can also choose the position of the image, whether you want it to be centered left or right or centered. And you can even tile the image if you want it to repeat throughout the background. Now the background color is where we get a lot of flexibility with branding our form as well. So the background color, you can build this directly into the background color of your website if you want the form to seamlessly blend with the background. But then you can change the colors within the form itself too, and really match it to your brand, because we have a full color selector or a color picker that you can get the hex code or the unique color code of your branding and paste it directly in here. And then it automatically adapts to whatever color code you've entered in this box. The buttons and links color will be reflected on all of the confirmation buttons within your form, such as the Complete Donation Now button and any of the links within your form. The title bar text is the text that appears on the colored lines throughout the donation form. And of course, the title bar background is the color of those bars themselves. And again, these are all completely customizable with your brand. So if you want to turn them bright pink or whatever best matches your brand's overall color scheme, you can do so. So the custom header logo allows us to change the logo on the top of our donation form. So that's the little logo in the top left-hand corner of our form here. But I'm able to change it and upload a new image. Maybe I want to change it to this heart here. And I can save the form, refresh my page, and as we can see, the header image changes. Again, this is just if you are linking to the form. You can also add a description right under the header image section. So you can add a description that appears in the top bar just underneath the header logo we just changed. And this is where you can add a little bit about your charity and the impact that these donations are having, as well as expressing your important mission. Of course, these forms are all fully bilingual as well. So you're able to add the French description text as well, if you have French donors as well. And now we're going to get into the customizations that we can make in the branding options if we are embedding this donation form. So these changes only are apparent if we are embedding or adding this donation page directly to our website. This means we are copying the line of code that allows us from the development side of our website to paste the code. And so the donation form appears wherever we'd like it to. But we can also add a header image to those forms that are embedded. However, we get a few different options with those. We can view these samples here to see that we can have the form appear as a square thumbnail on the left-hand side of the top bar of the donation form, on the right side, and we can notice the description here as well next to make a donation. Or we can even have it as a full header image, just like this one. So you can have those flexibilities if you are embedding this form directly onto your website, and you can add that image right here under the embedded header image section. One of the other advantages of embedding the form or adding it to your website is that you're able to give it a custom title. So you can write donate now, you can write your organization's name, you can write whatever you want that will appear in the top bar of the form as the title of the form. You can also add your description, just like with linking it. So as you can see, there's lots of different ways and customizations you can incorporate into the custom donation form to really make it your own and match it to your organization's branding. To incorporate your branding even further, we can add branded e-cards. So as we've already looked at, you're able to give your donors the ability to make their donation as a tribute in memory or in honor of someone. And using the branded e-cards, you can either give donors an example of, or give donors the option of using one of the many pre-selected e-cards that Canada Helps provides, or you can only display your custom e-cards, in which case you are able to upload images, just like I have here, that you are able to incorporate into your donation form. So you can just browse for photos on your computer, upload them here, select the e-cards that you would like to add as an option to your donation form, and then click OK at the bottom. Lastly, if you want to track the analytics or the marketability of your donation form, you are able to use your Google Analytics account, if you have one, and add your number into the donation form. So you are able to use Google's analytics in order to track the web traffic of your form, and it provides you all the instructions you need on how to find that number and add it to the form. Just keep in mind, it usually takes about 24 hours for new tracking results to appear in your Google Analytics account once you have added that number. We have lots of resources in our knowledge base about how to incorporate these tools into your fundraising forms as well. So you can look at those if you have any questions regarding those tools, or reach out to our customer support department. So that's it for customizing our donation form, everyone. And now what we're going to do, now that we are satisfied with how our form looks and the options that we provided our donors, we're going to save our form. And we can even click Save and View here to open our newly customized form in a new tab that we can scroll down through with our really nice background image, custom colors of the form, those pre-selected or suggested donation amounts with an impact statement underneath each one, some funds that donors are able to select from so they can designate their gift. We allow them to leave a message for our charity. All that's left to do now is for them to add their donor and tax receipt information as well as their payment details. These forms accept payments, by the way, of Visa, MasterCard, American Express, or even PayPal and Canada Helps gift cards. We've also given them the option to make this donation in honor or in memory of someone. And we've added some custom e-cards that our donors are able to select from and send to whoever they're making the gift in honor of or as a tribute to. The donor also has the option to remain anonymous. They can make an additional donation to Canada Helps if they so choose to do so. And finally, they can ask a custom question. And just as an aside, those are only available on the full fundraising form or the full donation form. So now that we've gone over the form that we just customized, I want to now take a look at how to add this to our website. So I'm going to scroll to the top, click back to all forms, and to add this form to my website, I have a few different options to do so. As I talked about, there are two different ways that we can include a donation form on our website. The first way to do so is by linking the form. That is where we take the unique web address or URL of the donation form. Every donation form has a unique URL, and we can copy it either from the address bar or by clicking URL next to it in our donation forms page. And then we can go to our website, or any website for that matter, and we are able to add that URL to a donate button that opens the form in a new tab. Alternatively, we are able to embed or add this donation form directly to our website. Now, this is what we consider the ideal use of these donation forms, as it is the most streamlined and straightforward way that a donor is able to make a donation to your charity using this tool without being directed anywhere else. By clicking the embed button, it copies a line of code directly to your clipboard, or you can copy it directly from the notification box. And then from the development side of your website, no matter which type of website you're using, whether it's a WordPress website, maybe Squarespace or Wix, you can paste it from your website and incorporate it directly there, like so many charities have. One example I want to show that you saw at the beginning of a really well incorporated and embedded donation form onto a website was our friends at the Kids Eat Smart Foundation. I can click the Donate Now button on their website, and I am taken to a donation form that's embedded directly on the page with custom colors, an impact statement for each donation suggested amount, where I can enter all of my details, make it as a dedication, and even includes a custom question. And you have the complete ability to do this yourself by following the simple steps that we took in today's webinar, which just about wraps us up. So thank you so much for joining. I just want to share a few tips and suggestions before we get going. We recommend creating a ways to give page on your website where you can even utilize multiple donation forms for multiple reasons. If you want to use a monthly form to maybe collect membership fees, if you want a one-time general donation form, there's no limit to how many forms you create. And so a ways to give page is a great way to use multiple forms at once. We also encourage you to put an eye-catching donate button on your website so donors can click it and know exactly what they're doing when they click that button. And you can include a link to a donation form in emails as well. So we looked at the URL that you are able to include to link to a donation form. You're even able to include that in email appeals that you send to donors. And it is a really great way to share your donation forms to a wide audience. So if you have any additional questions, we do have a Q&A question or a Q&A box at the bottom of the screen. You're able to use to ask any additional questions, as well as a satisfaction survey that will pop up as soon as this session is concluded. So please use those or ask any last minute questions if there are any. But I really appreciate your time today, everyone. And thank you for joining. Have a great day.